Have you ever arrived at the office to find the computer down? If this has happened to you, you may recall feeling stranded, out of touch. Like most other revolutionary aids developed by electrical and electronics engineers, computers are now as natural and as necessary to our lives as running water. Without computers, businesses and professions as diverse as law enforcement, publishing, travel, and manufacturing would come to a grinding halt. We depend on and expect computers to link us instantly to nationwide networks and databases, to perform lengthy calculations, to generate tables and charts on demand, to control industrial processes, and where communication is involved, and that's every minute of the day, we depend on computers to store, retrieve, edit, copy, and transmit our words with a minimum of drudgery. Take away the computer and you compromise many of the most vital aspects of the business world. Electronic funds transfer would be suspended. Air traffic control would be crippled. Power networks would cease distributing electricity for entire coastlines. We don't always stop and think about the work of engineers and how deeply it affects the way we live. Perhaps this underscores the need to apply our best human resources to the development of engineering and technology. This is the perspective of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. When early navigators first set sail for new horizons, they had nothing but stars to guide them. For transportation today, we can still count on the stars, but luckily we don't have to. Modern electronics, including radar, radio navigation, and satellite communications, allow ships and planes to pinpoint their location and destination anywhere on the globe, often with life-saving results. Imagine traveling our crowded skies without an air traffic control system, a system that comprises a host of electronic techniques which constitute a pilot's lifeline. And how would ships know their exact position without LORAN, the long-range navigational aid? These and other electronic tools, developed by engineers, provide critical information at a moment's notice. Electronics also play a crucial part in transportation safety. Doppler radar is now being used to alert pilots to the hazards of wind shear. Satellite networks alert search and rescue teams to aid maritime vessels in distress. Now, when a sailor or pilot asks, "Where am I?" or "What's the safest route?" chances are an electrical or electronics engineer has made the answers possible, and with astounding precision. We don't always stop and think about the work of engineers and how deeply it affects the way we live. Perhaps this underscores the need to apply our best human resources to the development of engineering and technology. This is the perspective of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. Mention blackout, and most people have strong recollections of going without electric power for several minutes, hours, or even days. No lights, no television, no elevators, air conditioners, or refrigerators. We are so accustomed to the reliability of electric power that we're taken aback by the slightest interruption in service. When blackouts occur, our world seems to come to a standstill. Yet through developments in power engineering created by electrical and computer engineers, such interruptions are rare. Today's power grids can withstand and respond more quickly to the intense demand for electricity made by millions of homes, offices, and industries. And with an eye to the future, engineers are devoting much research and development to alternative energy systems. Wind, solar rays, geothermal energy, and recycled waste are being turned into usable power. Such innovation is as timely as today's headlines. For example, recent studies in superconductivity point to the development of new materials that will transmit electric power over great distances with little loss of energy. Should these systems become practical, it will be electrical engineers who make them a reality. We seldom stop and think about the work of engineers and how deeply their efforts affect the way we live. Perhaps this underscores the need to apply our best human resources to the development of engineering and technology. This is the perspective of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. Most of us take today's modern conveniences for granted. Yet if we stop to reflect, we can't help but notice the many innovations which have revolutionized our lives. Many are familiar and indispensable, like the computer, the calculator, radio and TV. Others have been developed only recently, like cellular telephone systems and magnetic resonance imaging used in medical diagnosis. Yet all have something in common. They would not exist without the contributions of electrical and electronics engineers. To call attention to such accomplishments, the IEEE conducts an awards and recognitions program. In addition to honoring exceptional work by individuals and organizations, the awards provide an incentive to others, and especially to the young, to emulate this excellence. Such recognition is more than a salute to a select inner circle. Our aim is to help raise the stature of all engineers and to increase public awareness of their accomplishments. In so doing, we also hope to cultivate an environment conducive to the research and development of new technologies. Technologies that will have a major impact on our comfort, safety, and productivity. We seldom stop and think about the work of engineers and how deeply their efforts affect the way we live. Perhaps this underscores the need to apply our best human resources to the development of engineering and technology. This is the perspective of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. Americans admire a skilled competitor. In sports, we marvel at a Larry Bird, a Magic Johnson. And we know these gifted athletes and their teams don't win championships without a tremendous amount of dedication and hard work. And so it is with nations. Right now, the United States is fighting to regain its competitive position in world markets. Make no mistake, U.S. businesses and industries are being challenged by aggressive, productive firms. But here, as in other areas of competition, the answers lie in thinking smart and working hard. There are some who believe that the solution is to erect barriers to trade, to technology transfer, and to the engineering enterprise. But proposals for protectionist measures do not deal with the real issues. Instead, the United States must learn to operate in a swiftly changing world economy, a world of competitive markets, differing cultural values, and ever shorter product life cycles. One key to this is technology. Economic studies show technology to be the major contributing factor to improvements in productivity, economic growth, and increased employment. But all too often, analysts focus on economic barriers, overlooking the failure to develop and implement new technological developments. A more balanced view is required, one that gives far greater weight to engineering and technology in the formulation of economic policy and in the achievement of long-term goals. This is the perspective of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers.
Competition is healthy for a business, but some high technology professionals say there is too much competition in their industry. And from the perspective of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, the need for confidentiality can coexist with progress in the technology field.
Security is a valuable commodity, but too much of it can be a liability. The international contest for high technology markets is an apt illustration. On the one hand, industrial nations can keep their know-how and innovations all to themselves, or they can tear down their protectionist walls and share their knowledge with fellow engineers and scientists, thus enriching their own technological base with that of other societies. Today, we live in an era of interdependent global economies, an age where high technology markets in telecommunications, computers, office equipment, and consumer electronics are predominant and the fastest growing. All can benefit in this environment if we eliminate self-imposed barriers, barriers that can have a chilling effect on technological progress. The IEEE is dedicated to keeping the doors open to technology transfer by encouraging joint technical activities among engineers from differing cultures, by sponsoring conferences worldwide, by publishing a broad range of technical literature, and through participation in international standards organizations. We do need safeguards to protect the development of proprietary products and to maintain national security, but no one nation has a monopoly on technological innovation. To ensure global economic and social stability, we must temper our competitive strategies with a cooperative spirit. This is the perspective of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers.
Coming up, Austin Kiplinger on CEO Close-Up. And we'll check in on what the markets are doing overseas on International Business Line, 16 minutes after the hour.
Industry looks to colleges and universities for the business leaders of tomorrow, and some institutions of higher learning are preparing students to meet the challenge. From the perspective of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, it's an example other schools should follow.
The development of technology, like any enterprise, needs firm direction to ensure its success. In particular, the management of technology must be specially formulated to combine knowledge of engineering and science with sound management principles. Yet few graduating engineers are prepared for the unique demands of technology management. Their college curricula are composed mostly of basic science and engineering design, with scant attention to problems in manufacturing and product realization. Conversely, managers in high technology industries often have little background in engineering or science. As a result, they often fail to interpret properly the technical input of their engineers. It appears that managers and engineers in the U.S. are being educated to work at cross purposes. To correct this, a number of leading universities plan to redesign their curricula to offer cooperative programs between the engineering and business schools. The University of Pennsylvania, for example, is offering students a dual degree management and technology program to help them define and solve problems in today's complex technological society. Similarly, the MIT Sloan School of Management is offering a joint master's program in engineering and management. These are bold beginnings, but unless they are pursued by the majority of academic institutions, the consequence could be a further loss in the competitive position of the U.S. in world markets. This is the perspective of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers.
CEO Close-Up is next, 16 after the hour.
Some social observers say the U.S. is not preparing young people to enter the workforce and that students are ill-equipped in the sciences. From the perspective of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, the nation will pay a price if quality education is not a priority.
American engineers have earned a reputation for developing some of the world's most revolutionary products. This has made possible entirely new industries and created advanced tools in virtually every field. But despite a steady flow of innovative products and services, the United States has lost its competitive advantage in world markets. In turn, this loss has focused attention on the quality of engineering education. A close look at undergraduate engineering curricula in the U.S. shows that the traditional emphasis on science and research falls short of providing the skills that are necessary to compete effectively. To prepare engineers for the realities of the global marketplace, college curricula must be expanded to include more attention to solving real-world problems in product design and development, manufacturing, quality control, and technology management. A richer background in humanities and social sciences, and proficiency in oral and written skills is also needed to aid engineers in communicating with their management and with end users of their products. In today's world of high technology, a well-educated workforce at all levels is mandatory if the United States is to remain competitive. Engineers play a critical role in this mix. Their proper education should be a national concern shared by all of us. This is the perspective of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers.
Theodore Brophy of GTE is next. It's 16 minutes after the hour.